Well, welcome to the practice clinic part of today's proceedings. And we do have some questions that have been sent in ahead, which we will look at. And we start off with Marvi's question on the Berceuse of Chopin, specifically the sextuplet in bar 23 and bar 36, the last two triplets. And the question is how to pick up the speed here and in general, and how to build speed once you've done the speed of no mistakes. And then I gather that you use the metronome increments. Yeah, the thing with, which means that you find the speed that you can play it at, and then you up the metronome by 5 beats a minute or whatever until you get to the desired speed. Now there are some drawbacks with that method, and it came up the other day in a I forget what it was, but it had to do with walking. Let's say I'm walking, and I asked the person, is running just a faster version of walking, or is it a completely different activity? So it's a different activity. So if I'm practicing movements that I'm not going to use in the end, and I keep reinforcing those slow movements, it could be disadvantageous to getting the speed. So the principle would be do the metronome increases as part of variable practice. It's fine to do, but if you want to go from slow to fast, a better method, in my opinion, is to do little bursts at the tempo. So if it's the Berceuse, well, I've got some of it here. So that spot that you mentioned, it's this sextuplet at the end of, what was it, bar 23? By the way, generally the tempo, I don't like this fast. You hear a lot of people playing. Well, best of luck trying to send a baby to sleep at that. The thing will hurtle through the window. The cradle. That's the mother pushing the cradle. And because the baby knows that mother is there, it can go into flights of fancy in the dream world. So when you go to there, the baby is drifting off, safe in the knowledge that mother is there. And now the beautiful thing about this piece, and there are many miraculous things about this piece, the left hand doesn't change. And you're thinking, well, yes, it does. Sometimes he gives, and other times he gives in the second half of the bar. That's only to obey the laws of harmony, which say that you can't double your major third. So when he would be in danger of breaching that, he says, well, I better not put the C down there because I've got the C up there. So let me have an E flat. But to all intents and purposes, there's your left hand, and it stays all the way through. I think it's 26 variations, isn't it, in this? An old-fashioned, like variations on a ground. And it does change at the end, the left hand. It becomes, he changes the harmony from dominant, tonic, so the other way around, tonic, dominant, to tonic, tonic. So it's not true to say that it doesn't change, but more or less it's the same all the way through. So the best recording I heard of this, for me, is Solomon Kuttner. Do you know that name? He went by one name, Solomon. And he plays it like a nocturne. Which gives plenty of space for everything to go in an unhurried way. And for us to enjoy those ninths. But specifically about your question at the end of bar 23, we've got here if you take the tempo a little bit more slowly, it's actually not as difficult as it looks. The other thing that I think is helpful here, if you look at the design, rhythmical design in the left hand, there's a long note at the end of the bar. point of stasis. So we can place the downbeat by making it a little bit late. And often what Chopin will do is he'll add something just at the end of the bar that needs a bit of space, like that sextuplet. So I wouldn't think of playing metronomically. Went to the wrong bar. Not that. It's just, do you want to come and try it? I've got actually a score here, but you probably want to use yours. What is your tempo? Do you want to play a bit at the beginning?
Well, I mean, I've just got up to 65 just now, but I'm just working my way up. So obviously I can play this faster than...
That's a lovely tempo. That's beautiful. Now go to your spot in bar 23. You might prefer to start a bit at the start of that variation, maybe.
No, I just do that.
You do a cheat version, yeah.
Just
Maybe,
now.
can we just change places? Actually, it does work if you can
Oh, sorry.
come around here. Well, only that we don't want to block the camera.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of things that we can do there for the practice. Since this is a practice clinic, what I like to do is to separate out any kind of double notes into soprano alto, or if it's in the left hand, tenor bass. So those notes have to be played together, but I can practice this. Well, it's gone out of tune. I hope it's nothing to do with us. Probably the weather. So that I'm playing the top line with the fingering that I'm going to use were I to be playing both lines together. Do you want to try that?
Yeah. I've done that actually, and then I've also taken the
Yeah, the
bass
lower
line,
line.
and then I've also played just in chords like this.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
you know, just to
That's
get
good.
a feel. But when I then resort to trying, then I just...
Oh, well, that could be technical. I'm seeing here, if I could just show you.
Is it a rotation?
In order to put the thumb on the black key here, I saw you twist around like that.
Yeah.
But if you walk in,
Right. Okay.
could just be that. Try
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes. That's all it is, I think. And then stay in and then come back out again.
Good, I can go and sit down now.
No, we can all go to the pub. Try it. Yes, and add one extra element to that. Don't use your fingers.
Just the wrist.
No, it's actually my forearm.
Oh, okay.
Try that a few times. Can you rotate here? Beautiful. Now do that on the next one. Can you see Muddy's forearm is? And the next one, yeah, it's beautiful. Can I just suggest a couple of other things that I would practice for myself, or have done when I played this piece years ago? Keep losing it. Right, so one is to play the soprano line by itself, and then the alto line by itself. Can you see the rotations? Those are too big, but I like this. Double tapping the bottom finger. I can also do the same thing with the... These are all kind of like preliminary things. They're not necessarily going to immediately enable you to play fast, but they're sort of third little pig activities, you know, the three little pigs. It's only the third pig that digs the foundations, right? And the big bad wolf can't touch him, or her. So the other thing, let me just think what else I would do. I probably wouldn't break it up, because the job there is to do it together, but I would practice this. I'm playing just the top note, and then I do that with the bottom note. Do you want to try that? And if you can keep the rotations, yes, and wind up on the Oh, lovely. And now this one.
Sorry.
So that was just the upper note here.
So am I going?
That's it? Yes, exactly that. Now, if I can, that's great. So if I can now just suggest another thing I would do. See, the thing with practicing, often it requires various stages, you know. When you think about what that's going to feel like when it's fast, it's not going to be too connected. And if I've got my pedal, maybe I'm just going to want a little bit of fluttering in the fingertips. So if I would practice that staccato, I'm preparing the reflexes for letting go of the key rather than clinging on, you know. So the idea of little bits fast or chaining is you just play 2 notes and you make that happy. It's got to feel good in the body. Notice I'm not just repeating. I need to have a reason for repeating. My second finger wasn't firm, or the thirds weren't together, whatever it was. And when I'm happy with that,
and then you're coming up like that, aren't you?
I need to, because at the next position, and then now I noticed that I didn't land on both notes, so I focus on that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Do you want to try some of that? So just try one staccato. Great. And now chain. Don't be in a hurry to repeat. Have a reason for repeating. And now pop it on. Okay, so you know when you go to see a piano teacher that you do it, and then the piano teacher stands there and says something to you. Do it again this time. Can you think about make sure that the 2 notes down there are exactly together, and then you do what teacher says, and then teacher evaluates you. Teacher says, yes, that was good, now go on. You have to be the teacher. We have to be our own teacher. So what we do is we do that thing, and then we have to, before we repeat it, we have to say, why am I repeating it? Am I repeating it because it was good and I want to make a habit? Or am I repeating it because something about it wasn't quite right? What was it that I didn't like? What was it exactly? So this is the sort of thing. And if you articulate verbally to yourself, even talk out aloud, these sorts of things, I would practice this.
I think that coming in is going to help a lot.
Yeah. Probably all it is.
Yeah.
That's great. Now Priya, you're here. Where did you go? Oh, hi Priya. Yeah, so the question here is ornaments in the non-dominant hand, for practice strategies on playing ornaments with the non-dominant hand so that they sound as good and fluid as ones played by the dominant hand. Yeah, well, I think that's what is difficult with ornaments, is that, you know, usually the right hand has to play them and the left hand doesn't. And also most of us are more adept with our right hand. Even if we are I'm not left-handed, but I read some research that even amongst left-handed people, right hand was still better at the piano.
That is true.
Yeah?
More clunky.
Oh, okay. Well, I can give you a good trick for acciaccatura, which is to play the 2 notes together simultaneously, and then let go of the small note. So I'm not trying to do per doink. I'm playing literally together and letting go. So Haydn Sonata. Play them together. You don't have time to do per doink. You can if you want, but a couple of general things for ornaments, which probably would be helpful for all of us. I like to think of the ornament as being one motion. So if I look at that particular Haydn ornament, or thinking of 3 or 4 notes there. I'm thinking of one gesture, down, up, down, up, down, up, that's arm-led rather than finger-led, so that's one thing. With a trill, let's say you've got a trill that lasts for a while. I always go to this one. Which is the L'Île Joyeuse of Debussy. If you look at what I'm doing there, I'm walking along the key from the front of the key to the back of the key. Now I'm exaggerating, I wouldn't use that full range, but the principle is that I find a different spot on the surface of the key, and as I do that I'm rising up here, and then I can come back the other way. Now if I do that just small, I could continue to do that for a long time because it doesn't tire me. If I stay in one place and just use my fingers, I can do it, but it doesn't feel very nice, and I'd probably get tired after a while. So, you know, when you've got your short trills in the Baroque, even if you don't let go of the key, you can still use that throwing movement. I'll show you. Do you see how I'm staying on the key surface? Let's say I've got a legato. The motion is exactly the same as I just outlined. So walk and stay, right? Not from the finger. You know, getting the left hand as good as the right, there's one trick that we can use for that, which is called symmetrical inversion. Does anybody use this? Right, so symmetrical inversion, the keyboard is symmetrical from 2 places. One is A flat, and the other is D. So if I play a chromatic scale in contrary motion from either of those 2 points, every time I've got a white key in one hand, I've got a white key in the other. When I play a black key in one hand, I've got a black key in the other. If I'm using a third finger, I've got a third finger. So I'm creating an exact symmetrical, a mirror image, if you will. So if I want to practice anything that's difficult in this hand, or this hand, I can add the other hand and make a mirror image of it. So let's say I want to practice my trill from the, you know, L'Île Joyeuse. I can just do it with the other hand as well. It works for whole patterns of notes, you know. But let's say I've got this ornament, and my right hand can do it beautifully, but my left hand might struggle with it. So I create an inversion. It's that, isn't it? And my good hand teaches the less good hand how it feels. So symmetrical inversion is something that you could do, you know. I think that relates to Richard's question, who says, this is an online question, Richard finds that his hand tightens up with fast ornaments, Mozart, Chopin, Beethoven. Yeah, so the fingers are getting stuck here. So I think that would probably help you there as well, Richard. Yeah, so we try not to think of the ornaments as being finger-led, but coordinated with the arm. And actually, that is really the bottom line with coordinated piano playing. Nothing in the fingers without the arm, and nothing in the arm without the fingers. So we want a marriage of arm and finger. Yeah. Most of us were taught sort of isolated fingers, lifting the fingers, which is not going to work. Doesn't work on the modern instrument.
So where are we? It's this
The
bit
B
here.
flat,
That's
yeah.
right, the B flat. So
So
we've got
opus
this.
23 to
So
Rachmaninoff.
we've got this.
This is nasty, isn't it? Listen to that. Yes.
So how would you practice that
Right.
to get it A, all at the same tempo, which it isn't at the minute, and B, just with it to allow the melodic line to be fluent and not sort of
Yeah.
trying to fit in with what's going on the right hand because it's so busy.
Yeah, so it's monstrously difficult, isn't it, that sort of
Yeah.
thing, because you've got alternating. One thing that you're doing there that's really good is you're not trying to play legato in the right hand.
And, yeah.
You're actually releasing the key.
Yeah.
So what I would practice, can I
Yes, of course.
just try something here? Yeah, here. Do you actually practice it staccato, just letting go of the keys as quickly as possible?
I haven't done no.
Do you go to a 2 there,
Yeah.
and then back to a 3?
Yeah. Well, maybe.
Yeah, you see, try it staccato for a minute. Right, now put the pedal and play the left hand and just the tips. It's already better, right? Much lighter if you can. So that's one.
Yeah.
How did that feel there?
I think that's making these more even, and they're not at the moment, are they? They're a bit sort of hit and miss.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's not going to feel staccato when you
No.
play, but it's good to practice it staccato like that. So you quit the key as soon as you've
Left.
felt this, you
Yeah.
know, you got to the sounding point.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's just going to actually, you did it very beautifully before. So you're obviously doing something right.
Yeah.
There's just something there that, can I just again see? It's to do with the grouping, isn't it, as
Yes.
well? That's one group. And I would group this. That's another group. So, and then these are. That's very awkward.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it might be better to use a 2.
Yeah, maybe.
What would it feel like if you kept the 2? The only problem with it is here.
Yeah,
you
you've
don't
got-
want that
you don't-
twist.
Yeah.
So you could at that point go to a 3 maybe. I mean, just try that. What we're aiming to do is to keep alignment in between the forearm and the hand. We don't want twists. It may not work for you.
Yeah.
Is that any easier than shifting around from
Yes,
3 to
it
2?
feels okay. I think the issue is that the melodic line is on the second.
Yeah.
It keeps moving.
I know.
And so it's rhythmically is the bigger challenge is the rhythm because you've got 6 against 4 here, and then you 6 against 3, and it changes.
It keeps adjusting.
The
Yeah.
emphasis of what's going on the right, which is a sort of counter melody.
It is. Yeah.
Has to then fit in accurately, and it's keeping it absolutely tight in terms of the rhythm. And I don't know there's a
Do you play just the melody on the top against the left hand?
I haven't done.
I think there would be value in that. I think there would be value in that. I'm reminded of a story of Rubinstein, the great Arthur Rubinstein, who made a confession late in his life with the Winter Wind Etude of Chopin, that when he did his New York Carnegie Hall debut, he thundered out the left, and we all know the piece, do we? Where you've got the easiest opening in the whole world. Right, and then you get this ferocious right hand that goes on for pages and pages, and of course pianists practice that right hand, sitting there for hours, obsessing about that right hand. They forget that the music is in this hand. So Rubinstein couldn't be bothered to practice it in the right hand. He admitted this later. So what he did was he thundered out the left hand, like a great big symphony going on down there. And the critics the next day who is this amazing new talent that the world has produced? We can't believe. And he said, my right hand, I just floundered across. And he admitted it, and he demonstrated. You can find it on YouTube. And then when he got these rave reviews, he thought, oh, I better start practicing it. No, I'm not suggesting.
I'm not Rubinstein.
I'm not suggesting that you miss one note.
No.
But in a performance, see, we sit there like as we practice this, we can do all sorts of things. Just the top by itself. Have you done the lower?
Yes.
All of that. Have you done any of that?
No, I haven't done that.
Try that. Just pairs. It's that. That's why I'm thinking a 3. Yes, it makes sense for this note, but I'm not sure that it makes hand sense there.
No, it's too deviated, isn't it?
It's a bit too big of a movement. But look, it's a. But try just pairing. No, but light. Yes, don't try and join. And relax the hand in between each. Close the hand up. Yeah, and then try that the other way around. Yeah. And you could try groups of 3. Yeah. So you could do these 3, and then those 3, and then I'm just overlapping. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
then
get
build it up gradually.
Yeah,
just
that makes.
It's a non-legato. You can't stay in the key. You have to get off the key.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think I would do stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Is that helpful?
That is helpful, yes.
Okay, brilliant.
Because I'm stuck on that bit.
It's horrible. I remember when I learned that as a student, getting stuck on. I can't imagine anybody who's playing this piece not getting stuck on it. I don't know. I don't think I would have thought of that.
So John says he's still sticking to he's going to the old definition of vibrato, where if you take in one place, you've got to give in another.
Oh no, that's been debunked. Now, the idea of what you steal from Peter, you pay back to Paul, or is it the other way around? It's a nice idea, but it was disproved in the 1930s or the 1920s. John McEwan, who was head of the Royal Academy of Music. You can search this research. McEwan, M and then small c, E-W-E-N, I think, did some research on rubato, and he debunked a lot of these, myths that if you take time somewhere, you've got to pay it back later. Apparently, nobody did it. All the great performers who he researched, none of them did that. They take time, and then they carry on taking time. There's nobody at the other end with a stopwatch saying, yeah. Yeah. And another rubato thing that was, or myth rather, that was debunked was the idea that the left hand is supposed to play completely in time. You'll hear people say, oh yes, your left hand needs to play completely in time, and then your right hand can be free. Now that tradition still exists in pop music. Now I'm no expert on pop music, but if you listen to something like somebody like Ella Fitzgerald, one of the great singers of all time, and listen to her background. Now her backing, the orchestra or the pianist is going to be dead in time, and she's going to be free. She's going to come before the beat, after the beat, between the beats. Yeah. Now there's a vestige of that still left in string playing. There's a tradition in string playing. Now this occurred to me, occurred with me when I was a student again in the Royal College of Music. I was working with this violinist, And as an accompanist, I was used to, or collaborative artists, as we're supposed to call accompanists now, you know, following them. You're supposed to follow the soloist, aren't you? So if they take a little time, you take a little time. And she stopped me after a while. She said, no, 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 no. I want you to play completely in time, and I'll do the... I'm not going to be with you a lot of the time. Thinking, oh, I don't think I can do that. But, so you still do find that myth that the left hand's supposed to be in time and the right hand is free. But best of luck with that. It's not possible. It's actually not possible to do it. So like any good accompanist, my left hand is listening to my right. That's a Chopin nocturne. So yeah, no, the answer to that question would be find me a version of anybody who does that and I'll listen.
So the follow-up is, so there's a pulse even if it is flexible.
Yeah. So this was Fleischer's thing. Oh, you have to listen to Leon Fleischer's masterclass with Yujia Wang on YouTube, where he's working with her on C minor Schubert sonata, where he's doing his subdivisions and he's doing his stops, and whenever she gets to a long note, he says, stay on that note as long as you want, and then move, and then stay on the note as long as you want, and then move. He was a great believer in subdivision. What I did was I created a quaver pulse, eighth note pulse, which was flexible, but which was discernible. Now I imagine that. You see, the idea there is that there is a pulse, there's a discernible pulse. For the pathetique, a lot of people lose the pulse there, and they're all over the shop. But of course Beethoven makes it all right here. Nobody gets lost there. Because Beethoven himself in the composition has subdivided the main beat into four parts. So we can imagine that ourselves. And sometimes singing it is good, or counting out aloud is very good.